Hezbollah militants, they get these new pagers. They're told, hey, we're going to give you these new pagers for security reasons. They get these new pagers, and then thousands of them blow up at the exact same time. Here's some of it. Okay. So this is one of the instances, and the reaction is when people heard an explosion. So you got these militants all over the place. I mean, they're in different areas, different regions, but all these things went off at the same time. So some people inside of stores, shopping markets, outside of residential communities, business communities, etc. Now, over 1,000 pagers belonging to Hezbollah militants all exploded at the exact same time. Over alleged security concerns, Hezbollah militants decided to switch from cell phones to old-fashioned pagers just several months ago. The devices suddenly blew up across Lebanon yesterday, all at the same time. So here's what happened. Wireless pagers used by the Iran-backed Hezbollah members mysteriously, according to the report, detonated around Lebanon, killing at least 8 people. That is the current estimate, injuring nearly 3,000 more. Injuring nearly 3,000 more, including scores of militants per local estimates. Hezbollah and Lebanon have both blamed Israel for the carnage, which Israel has not claimed responsibility. A U.S. State Department spokesperson said Washington was not involved in the exploding pager incident and was unaware of any attack in advance. It is interesting how the White House said we were not involved and we were unaware of any attack. That means it was an attack and you all were left out of it. All right. Though there is speculation at this moment, it is unclear how the handheld communication devices all detonated in such a sophisticated and coordinated way. It's also unclear how many of the pagers exploded. Some experts and analysts theorized that the pagers may have been tampered with a while ago, implanted with explosives. You don't say. That's how they did it? These are some really smart individuals to figure out that pagers don't all explode at the same time without being tampered with previously. All right. They say implanted with explosives programmed to detonate upon receiving specific code or message. Another possibility is a cyber attack on the batteries that cause them to overheat and explode. Hezbollah has been relying on pagers to communicate as a response to the loss of multiple commanders. The pagers were considered a cure for the issue of security. Tuesday's page incident came just hours after Israel indicated, without any specifics, that it would increase military pressure on Hezbollah to allow those who have been displaced to return home. New members have come out since the blast, and Hezbollah has issued an official statement, quote, at least 12 people were killed and more than 2,750 others were injured in the blast. That's according to the Lebanese Health Ministry. In a statement Wednesday, the Iran-backed Hezbollah said there would be a severe reckoning over the blast, blaming Israel. I mean, just more carnage, more bloodshed. One of the things a good friend told me about warfare, because he's a former military guy who has turned great humanitarian. He said, anytime you effect an attack against an enemy, even if the public doesn't know, the enemy needs to know that it was you. And so you have to do something in order to make sure the enemy strongly suspects that it was you who did the attack. This is a hell of a thing to have thousands of pages blow up, and then the added irony of the recent switch to this pager system as a lot of people questioning how in the hell did this happen? Could this happen to other devices that people wear and people have in their pockets, et cetera? What say you?
This, Dr. Richey, is why I do not purchase electronics from the dollar store and or Five Below. You have to be careful where you purchase your electronics. Now, with a name like Tehran, this story is one that I am keeping my eye on very closely. I do want to give some updates that as of today, CNN and New York Times have concluded that this was an Israel military and Mossad attack, coordinated attack, because the timeline had to be pushed up in regards to the Hezbollah members finding out that this could be some type of tampering. So they moved that timeline up. The people that were killed included an Iranian diplomat to Lebanon, which could actually have some implications as far as political legality. And more so, the near 3,000 people that were injured were not all Hezbollah members, but were people who were in the vicinity, allegedly, of the explosion. So all these are factors that we need to consider. I do think that we need to ask ourselves, how was the Mossad able to pull off this operation? We also use terms like covert operation because we're not supposed to know who did this, but clearly, as your former military friend pointed out, the strategy for certain attacks is you need to know who attacked you, so you need to know who to be wary of. And so this is an interesting story all the way around. I have no love for the Hezbollah or anyone who is a terrorist, but I also am very mindful of the tactics that we use in what we call warfare.
Right, because this is one of those tactics, and this is why I'm bringing it to the public, where you don't need to be involved in warfare if this was some kind of hack that can turn your device into a bomb against you. This is something that a whole lot of folk need to be concerned about if there's a technology that allows this to happen. And additionally, it does change the conversation as it relates to warfare and engagement. That this now is permissible, even though, as you pointed out correctly, innocent civilians were injured and possibly killed because of these explosions.